This season has the capacity to be historic. The potential is there. This could be it. The most satisfying, fulfilling football season Packers Nation has ever experienced. It's finally September. Pack is back, and so is two dads and a Chaz. I am honored to light the fuse on what looks to be the most exciting and explosive Packers pod season of all time. Let's do this.
Two dads and a Chaz, trophies on the wall. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a Chaz talking Green Bay Packers football. We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Mostly gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air conditioner, cause it's bound to get hot. Two dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall. Trophies, y'all. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
Okay, Packers Pod Squad, welcome to another season of Two Dads and a Chaz, the one-stop shop for hope, good vibes, tantrums, dirty diapers, Lego pieces, and deep dives. Midwest friends, clicking pens, living our best lives as we hoot and root for our Green Bay Packers. Guys, we're back for, what is this, our third season?
Yeah.
Third season. Two Dads and a Chaz. I'm your first dad and your host, Tyson Fauché. Thank you so much for coming back. We're excited to give you another year of exciting Green Bay Packers insiders made up bullshit just for your own ears. I'm going to introduce my other members of Two Dads and a Chaz now. I am one of the dads, the other dad, of course, being the Porcelain Prince, Aaron Mayhew. Mayhew, how you feeling today about a new season of football?
Oh, T-Bone, I was going to try to keep it short, but fellas, I could not be more excited than to finally be back in a room with all y'all to discuss this team that we love with the passion. Excited for this season. Can't wait to break it all down with you.
Boom! Solid take. The other member of Two Dads and a Chaz is, of course, the Chaz. You can't have Two Dads and a Chaz without a Chaz. And this year we have a very special infestation of Chaz right here in my very own home. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaz Ingram.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third season of Two Dads and a Chaz podcast, the Green Bay Packer pod with the dad bod, baby.
He's back, folks, and he's staying. So we have a little guest here. He's back in Wisconsin, and we could not be happier to have his energy. We can finally win a goddamn Super Bowl. I was tired of him ruining it for us, so we got that out of the way. We also have, of course, the low foundation of this show. Mr. Ty Wendell is in the house today with full squad. What's up, Ty? How you feeling?
Oh, dads, Chaz, Packer fans worldwide. It was an off season where I had to fill my time with other things. But now the Pack is back. Forget all those other things. All the priorities and things that need to be accomplished can wait until another time. The Packers. That's all I care about right now, guys. Great to see you. So glad to be back for a new season.
That's right. Burn that paperwork, folks. Packers season is back. We are fully in a procrastination bubble where we're going to focus on just one thing: other men playing football and what that means to us and our feelings. So, welcome back, fellas. We are here to break down the Packers offseason and do our best to explain slowly why the Green Bay Packers are the greatest team on the planet Earth. And to do that, we got to go back and we got to talk about things that have changed. So we got to really crack into it. We're going into the first quarter of our 4-quarter throwdown, our well-known structure for the Two Dads and a Chaz you know and love. First quarter starts right now. Let's go back in time. Change. We all love change. We all hate change. It happens. It jingles. It's annoying. It's great. It's here. And we have to do something about it. We got to talk about it. Joe Barry and the entire coaching squad on the defensive side has changed. Mayhew, can you explain why in the world we would want to get rid of a man like Joe Barry? Go ahead. Try and explain this to people as much as you can.
Yeah, Tyson, thank you. Thank you. As you already indicated, our man Joe Barry got the pink slips, terminated, no longer employed by those at Lombardi Avenue 1622. Not entirely sure. But for me, what it comes down to is a very simple. Let's go back a little bit, right at the beginning. Our man Matt LaFleur gets hired, doesn't actually get to decide his own defensive coordinator. They're like, "No, we love Mike Pettin. He looks like Mr. Clean. He's got a real good, fucking baldness going on. We love it." Give him 1 year. He gets fired. And then it's like, okay, Matt, go out and make your own choice. And man, the talent pool that year, defensive coordinator, was lacking. I will agree. And what he did was fall into what I believe is a comfort zone of hiring Joe Barry, a part of like the tree, as it were, the nut that fell to the ground. Who gives a shit? But you give this man 3-year trial period, in which point we've done nothing but draft first-round draft picks, like defensively, try to give him as much talent around him as we possibly could. And for me, all this has led up to is mediocrity. Bottom line is that Joe Barry equals mediocrity. And when we talk about a franchise that is ascending towards greatness constantly, it's not a piece of the puzzle. Got to get caught to the wayside. And I think I actually have to respect the fact that Matt LaFleur was able to finally make that call in this offseason and be like, look, he was my guy. It's not working out. To separate himself and finally move on, I think takes guts. But it also there's players on the team, guys. We got Devondre Campbell no longer with us. We're talking about at an inside linebacker position, how he didn't know what he was doing. The scheme itself, which just made zero sense. And then you got someone like Jair Alexander that just wanted this guy gone from the get-go. Everything that I can tell, at least like on paper. And as soon as he's gone, it's been nothing but upbeat. The whole team is like kind of feeling the vibe a little bit. And I'm just excited for what the future brings. So Joe Barry, best of luck wherever you go. And Ty, I mean, tell me I'm wrong here. You got other thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not going to miss Joe Barry. Not in the slightest. Not that soft, weak, no leadership having, dumb scheme designing. He's a schlub. Look, here's the thing. He either has no legacy with this team, which is sad and hard to do considering everything with this team is historic in nature, or his legacy is to have greatly disappointed the super nice folks of Green Bay. Way to go, Joe Barry. Painful. Just painful time while you were here. We're glad you're gone.
He did make looking bad pretty hard. Like, he made it look hard to be that bad at being a defensive coordinator. Like, he didn't make it look easy.
I think it's a fair assessment. And I will say this too, for me, bottom line truly is that the defense needs to start matching the offense. Offense is revolutionary. Offense is hungry, young, going to put it on the board. We need the other side of the ball to match that philosophy. Am I wrong, boys?
You're not wrong one bit. And I think of what you're really talking about is culture, because I see what we developed last year on the offense is a identity and culture. And it was awesome to see. Not only do we have a bunch of guys that are all the same age, so much so that they could have a play date together, but it would be easy to do and appropriate in terms of their age gap. But really, there is some real positivity going on in terms of how we've come together as a group and how we've come together and really changed our identity and stuck with each other when things were down and used that as as something to really give us power and push us into the off season, going far beyond people's expectations and really being slowed by that anchor that was the previous defense. Now it's changed this season, Mayhew. We have a new defensive coordinator, one Mr. Jeff Hafley. Now you might be saying to yourself, Tyson, who the hell is Jeff Hafley?
Hey, Tyson, who the hell is Jeff Hafley?
Well, Chaz, I'm glad you asked, and you did zero research just like we asked. Jeff Hafley is a guy who, since I graduated high school in 2001, has had one hell of a coaching career, from every kind of different coaching defensive backs and different scenarios in college to being with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Cleveland Browns, the San Francisco 49ers when they kicked our ass in between 2016 and 18, head coach or defensive coordinator of the Ohio State before he was the head coach at Boston College. This guy knows how to motivate, coach, and inspire men. Not only that, he runs a different scheme, a completely different scheme than our previous guy, Mr. Joe Barry, which we've also gone over. This maybe not the best fit for what we're looking for in terms of winning football games. So this guy is a much different, less cerebral approach. He also runs what they call a 4-3. Now, if you're a layman, you might be asking yourself,
Hey,
like,
what's 4-3?
Yeah, so we ran thank you, Chaz. We had a 3-4 before from Dom Capers, and really a little bit before up until now, we've been running a 3-4, which means 3 fat guys in the middle, and then 2 fast guys coming off to kind of get you, and everybody else just sitting back and watching and playing zone and making sure they hold their gaps, and you have this this umbrella effect of like most things are covered and you should be able to make a play when they get the ball. The way we're running now is 4 fatties up front, just the way I like it.
Yeah, baby.
All 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 angry ones too, with anger issues. These are the guys that would get arrested, that you can't expect to just sit there and hold a gap. They're like, I got to break a finger. I got to do something, Now we gave them a purpose. You can go forward and go try and kill that quarterback just like your heart wants. So now all 4 of them, they're coming to kill you. And we have fast guys that are supposed to cover some of those gaps. And then the corners, they also get to play way more aggressive, a lot more bump and run, a lot more jam, a lot more man coverage that is going to give us, I don't know, like our athletic benefits actually paying off to us being able to overpower a team with worse wide receivers, not just having them just hit us in zone gaps all day long. So we have an exciting new philosophy. Not only that, this guy, if you listen to him talk, you want to talk about energy and culture, he's got me hyped for this year. Listening to him speak, listening to him talk about football, it gets me excited. I also can understand what he's saying. He makes things sound simple. Like Albert Einstein once said, if you truly understand something, you should be able to make the most difficult thing simple to understand. And I feel like that's the way he describes the game. And I don't know. May, where are you at on this?
No, Tyson, every time this man has had a opportunity just to get in front of like a microphone, it's inspiring words. And like sometimes it feels like lip service. Every defensive coordinator comes in and is like, oh, we're going to do blah. It's like, man, I fucking believe this guy. And as you said, it's an aggressive defense. But I think the biggest thing for me is everybody that's played underneath him, especially in the secondary, talks about how every game they go into, they were never surprised by a look. Never surprised by a play. Like they knew where to be. And man, in the NFL, it's athletes against athletes, but if you know what you're supposed to do, that seems like a very big change from what felt like a very confusing defense under Joe Barry, So look, it might not be perfect at the beginning. It might take a little bit to just kind of have these players come together. But in my heart, I feel like we are finally on the right fucking track defensively.
Mayu, I think you're absolutely right. Ty, unless you got something to add, I feel like I'm ready to take a break because I think that this is the most excited I've been about a defensive squad going into a season where we've had this much turnover and there's so many unknowns. Like I feel crazy confident right now that we're going to give our opponents hell. Ty, you got anything to add on this before our break?
Just the last thing is that he's walking into a very talented team, and he's got young guys there that he can shape and make his own. I think if you're taking a job as a defensive coordinator, this is kind of a dream setup. Everybody is talented and 23 years old. You know what I mean? This is the kind you can build something with that. So I'll just say context. It's a good situation for us, but it's also a good situation for him.
Packers Nation, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to pound in the second quarter here and talk about some of the roster changes on the Packers squad. Thanks for coming back. We'll see you after the break.
Hashtag Hefe Halfley.
We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz. We're going in the second quarter. Second quarter starts right now. So we're talking inner circle. Who's in the inner circle? Well, it's Gutekunst, and it's all of the brilliant coaches that we have on our staff right now. We are working together in a circular motion to come up with some really good stuff inside the circle. And we're calling this the inner circle. And you got to trust the inner circle because they have gotten some amazing things done. And we also just kicked some people out of the circle that were no good. We just talked about it. We got some new guys in the circle, and we are trusting the inner circle. Mayhew, tell me about what the hell happened with the kickers.
Yeah, Tyson, thank you. Thank you. The inner circle needs to be trusted because all of us sitting on the sidelines like we're a bunch of good GMs, we don't know dick. But I'm going to break down this kicker situation because I think everybody's a little bit worked up here. I got to take you back to last year. Last year, in which we drafted a man named Anders Carlson, boat rapist, the third. Okay, in the 5th round of a draft, when you don't typically draft kickers, bold move. Even bolder was the fact that this guy kicked horribly in college, wildly inaccurate from pretty much every level of the field, and he was also injured. But we're like, gotta have him because Rich Bisaccia can turn him into a fucking pumpkin into Prince. I don't know. Okay, so flash forward to last year. Right,
Yeah.
Brother. Sure. So we bring him in, and he's doing very poorly right out of the gate. But we're like, look, we don't want to stress this guy out. We don't want to create a competition. We're like, we're just going to roll into the season with him, and he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna figure it out. This podcast, we rooted for him, sort of throughout the entire year, because we expect greatness. We want to win football games, but inevitably, he fell to the absolute bottom of the league in every category a kicker could. So it's like, okay, rough rookie season. What are we going to do, inner circle? And they're like, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to bring in a cast off from Minnesota named Greg Joseph, who nobody fucking likes. And we're going to create a cookie competition. You know what I mean? Let's put these two against each other all preseason long. And the winner will fucking take us to the Super Bowl. I mean, that was, we also at the same time were looking for anybody that was able to kick a football in a Walmart parking lot, perhaps an Arby's. I don't know. We brought him in. It was 5 separate kickers throughout the entire preseason.
Restaurant, what you're saying though, is a chain restaurant.
Has to be Wendy's. I mean, you name it. I've seen a lot of good kicks.
Chick-fil-A. They're not open on Sundays. That's a good day for kicking.
So while this is going on, neither one of them, exactly winning the competition. It comes to the end of like the preseason where it's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And what does Goody do? Kicks them both to the curb, only to pick up a man named Braden Narvison. Everybody out there listening to D&C fan base, put that in your brain because I think we just found our kicker for the next 10 to 15 fucking years. Braden Narvison.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Thank God.
Where he played in college. I do know that he was undrafted. I do know that he lost a kicker competition in Tennessee and then fell right into our lap, just the way Goody planned it the entire time, baby. So end of the day, boys, what do we say? Trust the inner circle because we're going to be just fine.
That's right. And you know what? I'm glad though. I'm glad we went over all that, even if it had more characters than that song. Take a load off Fanny with like way too many characters in that song. Keep track of all of them. Dogs, you got Crazy Chester. So I'm not a lot of kickers, but I'm glad we landed on what was his name again, Mayhew?
His name's Braden Narvison. Like I said, kicker for the next 10 to 15 years. But hey, you don't got to kick my word for it. Ooh.
Nice. All right. Well, I also feel like there's been a bit of a musical chairs game and also just like a bit of mindfuckery happening at one of my favorite positions, being the running back position. A lot's happened since we exited out of the playoffs as one of the best running teams in football. Ty, what's going on running backs?
Roller coaster is what it is. An absolute roller coaster. Start the offseason with a broken heart in that Aaron Jones is going to go put on the purple and play for the Vikings, which I like him so much. I fear for the guy. Defenders are faster on turf. And so we start that way. Then almost a week later, I'm on cloud 9 because we got Josh Jacobs, who is the 2022 best running back in the league. The following season, he had an injury, but here he is ready to make a new name for himself. So I think, okay, well, this is, replace a 1 for a 1. And then we draft Marshawn Lloyd, who looks like a number 1 running back. I'm going, is there even room for A.J. Dillon on this squad? Because it's stacked. And just to spell it all, Emmanuel Wilson is still in the mix, guys. Like, all he's been doing is pump and iron Tyson.
Yeah, I just feel like also that AJ Dillon contract is a little bit sus, as the kids say. It is definitely like, what happened here? Why would you agree to pay for that little, considering your status in the league? And then also the way he went out with an injury that usually guys will play through in a game, it's kind of confusing as well. But Ty, I'll let you get back. But I just wanted to make sure I wanted to state that this AJ Dillon whole scenario smells fishy to me.
Yeah, I'm with you on the I don't think we're going to be seeing those x-rays anytime soon. I think that he's probably, I think it's anyway, it's a flush situation here where we've got we're stacked, and I think that really I'm suspicious, but in like a red shirt what kind of way, where it's like we've got more. They didn't want to actually cut AJ Dillon. They didn't want to fire the guy, but they'd like to have the option for him. It's a 1 year. He's on a 1 year deal. If you put him on the injured reserve, it's essentially his 1 year deal starts next year. It's the way I feel about that whole thing. But I'm just ready to see what we actually have. I've been up, I've been down, I've been all over the place with this running back room, and I think the potential, is there to be a real threat in the running back department this year, just based on the personnel alone. Before we even get into scheme, Tyson.
It does feel like the evidence has shown that we're willing to invest our energy in Wilson and developing him as a running back over AJ Dillon. I think he had plenty of carries last year. We know who he is. We know what he is. He got in as good a shape as he can be, and we saw what that looks like. So it seems like even with Marshawn Lloyd going into the season on IR, which I'm assuming he'll be off in by week 4. It just still feels like we're going to use this as an opportunity to continue to develop Wilson at running back, which I think is pretty cool, because he has shown flashes of being like a legit bell cow at moments, and then other times he looks pretty small. So let's see what we get out of that start the year.
That's what we got. That's the running back report.
So Ty, you're telling me that we need to trust the inner circle when it comes to running backs, right?
Yeah.
Gotta trust
the inner circle.
The inner circle.
My man.
Trust them. They pull you back in. Inner circle. Yeah, you gotta trust the inner circle, guys, for sure. Hey, there's another thing that has happened here, and that is quarterbacks. There's been a bit of a musical chairs in that department too. Mayhew, you want to catch us up on who has been on the quarterback position that's come and gone? We drafted who? Sorry, we
Yeah,
didn't talk about
sure. No, yeah. Quarterbacks. Well, it starts with Sean Clifford last year, 5th round draft pick. Look, the guy came in, and I'm not going to lie, he looked surprisingly good in preseason, where I was like, okay, serviceable backup. We got our number 2, because Lord knows, philosophy with the Packers, we're not going to pay somebody $6 to $7 million to sit behind our quarterback. We'd rather develop. Brian Gutekunst has said that very clearly. So we roll into this next offseason, and we draft a man named Michael Pratt in the 6th round, who was supposed to go earlier. What felt was like a decent quarterback out of I can't tell you where. And we went into the offseason with those two sitting behind him. It's like, okay, another quarterback duo. What do we got here? Well, apparently what we got is a whole lot of the coaches not feeling good about it, because as soon as the preseason was over, they not only sent Michael Pratt to the curb, completely dumping this guy. Not even just like, oh, maybe he's a rookie. Might be. No. We re-signed Sean Clifford to the practice squad, and then grabbed Malik Willis, a quarterback from Tennessee, who was drafted in the 3rd round almost 4 years ago. Could have been a first rounder. A lot of hype. For me, early view is that he's ultra athletic, great arm, great legs. Went through like multiple offensive coordinators his first couple of years, and maybe just hasn't been given the proper shot. So, What does it say? Is that Gutekunst continues to tinker to try to make this team better. And we just might have at the quarterback position, but it was pretty late in the game. Tyson, what's your take there?
Oh, Mayhew, I got a hard take on this. And first of all, I want to say how lazy the reporting on Malik Willis has been. I am a fan of all the Packers podcasts and all the sports shows, and I have heard this sentiment said that, well, if Jordan Love goes down, the season's over anyway. So that's all you need to know. Like, that is lazy. Other guys do better. I'm going to tell you, this is what we're going to do. We're going to tell you exactly who Malik Willis was. He was my favorite quarterback going into the season where he was in, was that 2020? That's when he went to the draft there. Dude, this guy's arm is a cannon. He is athletic, to say the least. I imagine Cam Newton a little smaller, but with a much bigger arm. Okay, this is who I see as the quarterback. When you looked at the quarterbacks in that draft, he had the best zip. He came out of Auburn. He was the guy that I wanted the Packers, even though we didn't need a quarterback. I'm like, this is a guy that's a safety. You draft him in case Jordan Love doesn't pan out. You got this other guy that you can develop. He's worth the investment, and he might drop. And that's kind of what happened, but we went a different route. That being said, he did get drafted by the Titans. He played 2 seasons for them, never really found a way to start too much. And when he did start, man, they really blitzed him intensely. So he took a lot of sacks, but it's because he was looking at a team that didn't have a good offensive line. He also had 3 different offensive coordinators, like Mayhew said, in his 3 years of football. Well, there's one thing Green Bay Packers does as a franchise, and that is you get better quarterback play out of a quarterback than they will get mostly on any other team. Example, Matt Flynn. Okay, this guy just basically stole Seattle's entire tax revenue for 2-3 years after looking incredible for the Green Bay Packers. Put up 480 yards against the Lions. I was at the game. It was incredible. Flynn to win. I was on mushrooms. It was the best. It was the best game. And he just got paid, and then he got cut, and he came right back. And he was still just a great backup. You know what I mean? We know how to develop quarterbacks. That's also the same guy that's still developing. That's Tom Clements, same guy that worked with Brett Favre, the same guy that worked with all the quarterbacks that backed up Rodgers, that looked pretty decent, that made all the different guys that came in that were mediocre look pretty solid. I feel like we can get really good play out of a guy like Malik Willis. And if you want to talk about who is a better prospect, Sean Clifford, which we all love Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford is very nice. But if it's Sean Clifford or Malik Willis, based on their college careers, people didn't expect Sean Clifford to even get drafted. We got the most out of him in a year that we didn't know what we were going to get out of Jordan Love. Well, now we know Jordan Love's a stud, and we know that this guy's a better backup. This is a major upgrade, in my opinion, and also a guy that I believe that if you wanted to do the lazy thing and say, if Jordan Love goes down, the season's over. I feel like this is the opposite. If Jordan Love goes down, we got something to cheer for. This guy has the potential to be a franchise quarterback as well. And I think he just got an unfortunate situation. Hopefully we can get the best out of it. I'm fucking fired up about this guy. Who? Malik Willis.
Oh, nice.
God, he's right here. Anyway, guys, I think we should probably take this as a chance to take a break. It's been a lot of information. We jammed down your throat, a lot of history. Everybody hates history. So we're going to go ahead and go into halftime. Use this frustration for something good. And when we come back, we might have a little grind your gears. We might have a little something else. Stay tuned.
Take 5, expect 3, and get 2.
Packers football.
I'm just gonna go right into it. What are we talking about again?
I want to talk about women who cheat.
Guys, you know what grinds my gears?
What's that?
I gotta tell you, I don't like streamed games.
Mm.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I like a game that is broadcasted on a rabbit ear scenario for regular ass poor people that all they have is football. Okay. Do I need Badgers? You want me to get a special freaking network to watch your mediocrity? Not happening. Not happening. Okay. I don't have time to get cable to watch what I want, let alone go and buy more streaming services. And here's the worst part about the streaming service, guys. You know what really grinds my gears about the streaming service? I will tell you.
What does?
It is less live than the other version. There's a bigger delay. I have very little power in that situation. I'm like a tied up hostage to a tree, laying on train tracks, just waiting for my demise. I have no control. Okay. Before, with the satellites, old school, just to your TV, that's a direct like. I can get in on that. I can get in on that signal. You know what I mean? I can use my magic. I can use my witchcraft to, impact the game on a live level. Now, if you want to add a 6-second satellite delay to that, I'm is anyone with me? You guys feel like you're a tied up hostage when you're watching a game that's like buffering? You're getting less and less and less live. Like, I don't even know where the fuck I am anymore. Is this even really happening? Did this happen 5 minutes ago? Or you even have someone who likes to record the game. Oh, that grinds my gears. I'm like, oh, we'll just fast forward through the commercials. Like, Jesus. You just fucking watch your kids, on a highlight reel while you're at it. Like, the fuck? Who's with me on this? It grinds my gears. Anyone agree?
Oh, I'm right there with you. For the folks who like record the game and then try to like take control somehow, is like you are dealing with fucking God's work. You're fucking everything up. And I refuse to be a part of it. Although I am a part of it regularly at my in-laws' house. And my father-in-law, God bless him, fucks it up every time. They'd be like, we paused it. Oh, wait, no, we're waiting for the rest of the family to get here. Oh, wait, no, I skipped forward. Now you missed the whole fucking first half. I apologize. It's like, no, that's not how football was intended to be viewed, Tyson.
No, the football gods were clear. They said, I want live sports. It will be just a nonstop dump truck of money, of billions of dollars, just more and more and more and more. It doesn't matter. And this is how we're going to fund this thing. And then the internet got involved. And like, it makes sense for every single thing else. But this is the only reason to have regular television, folks. This is it. This is the only reason we bought those big TVs is for this. Everything else can stream, and I'm with it. I'm down. I'm not against technology. I just think that you're ruining one of the last true amazing surprises in entertainment, which is live sport. And I want my freaking ticket stub back too. I don't like no ticket stubs.
No, that's also great, baby. You take it. You'll hold on to that.
Not anymore. But you just like,
no more. Just screenshot it and print it out.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's how we're at. That's where we're at. Anyway, that grinds my gears. Thanks so much.
Let's talk about women who cheat.
Bringing it around full circle.
All right. I got to reiterate. I wasn't sure how this you two being in the same room was going to work.
You're laughing a little too much at that.
I'm loving it more and more. You guys are so fucking good together. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It really, when you watch it back, you'll know why I'm laughing too much.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah. We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back. So sometimes we got to talk about the issues, the hard-hitting issues that matter that are outside of sports. I know you're like, Tyson, shut up and dribble. Well, too freaking bad. We're getting into the hard-hitting topics, okay? We're going to get into it right now. We're going to talk about the things people want to talk about, like what's a better movie, okay? Tango and Cash or Demolition Man? Because in my mind, there's a clear winner here.
Yeah, it's Demolition Man.
Yeah.
What?
It's Tango and Cash, bro.
Yeah.
You're talking about buddy cop movies, right? Essentially, they're about three things: big muscles, big dick energy, and misogyny, and some real nice little quips that you're going to bring in every now and then. Now, Tyson might tell you, "Oh, Wesley Snipes probably at his greatest ever. Look at him. He had the frosty tips. He still had, all his money." And but if you're going to talk about buddy cop, or that genre, Tango and Cash, baby, had it all. It had that weird Skeletor looking Captain Dino bald dude. They had the weird, almost rapey scene in the boiler room. And he gives that, I forget the actor's name, but, he's all like, if you're going to cut my head off, don't let this limey prick do it. Let some fucking American jerk off do it. Like, you can't beat that kind of shit, bro. All you got on Demolition Man is the 3 seashells.
The 3 seashells. But yeah, it's that you make a good point. But Demolition Man is so much better. There's so many great moments in that, like Taco Bell.
Oh yeah,
being the remaining only restaurant in the restaurant wars, and there are great suggestions. I'm like, this is what will happen in it was like 2001. Like
that's what I'm saying, Chaz.
Patterns and fucking.
There's just so much. There's so much more depth with Demolition Man. Whether you're down in the sewers eating a rat burger with fucking Dennis Leary, or rocking the seashells with Sandra Bullock, man, there's a lot more character development. I find myself just more intrigued. You know what I mean? It's like Tango and Cash. I've seen that fucking shit 1,000 times.
And that's prime right Bullock too. That is primo Sandra Bullock. Don't even get me going.
Remember when he's like the horizontal mambo, the hunka chunka? I wanted to give her the hunka chunka ever since.
The hunka chunka.
Primo, dude. They put the little the Zoni lights on.
That's right. They got into it.
They really did.
Kinky. It's kinky.
Yeah, it was good.
They didn't have any of that in Tango and Cash, but there was. But they did have that one scene where he was like getting a back massage from the sister, and I thought that he was having sex, but they weren't. They weren't. It was a misunderstanding. And he was weirdly protective of like aggressive about his sister not having a relationship with some other guy. That was a little suspicious.
Plus, like with a name like Cocteau, who's the guy that becomes like the civil leader of all of California. You're right. I got to go Demolition Man. I think I've been won over on this one. All Taco Bell in a post-apocalyptic, non-apocalyptic world with Dennis Leary is the crazy underground version of like some sort of, I don't even know what. And on top of that, Sandra Bullock in the hunka chunka.
You Mickey Mouse piece of shit.
All with Wesley Snipes at his peak before he started evading taxes at a horrible rate. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Chaz, we won you over then?
I got to say, you got me. You got me.
It's official.
I think it's been resolved.
The winner of this debate. Thank you so much. America can finally move on. Next week, we will discuss Terminator 2 against anybody who goes up against it. I think we all know that's going to be a tough. That's a contender.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back after this.
I'll be back.
Yeah. We talking Green Bay Packers football.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Two Dads in a Chaz football podcast. Third quarter, second half begins right now. So we do a little thing now we call a tangent zone. As you can tell, we are way too buttoned up, so we need to have an opportunity to really just rip it all off and just let her fly here. And anyone here in this group will argue with the fence post. So what do you guys want to fight about today, Ty?
I got things. We've talked about changes, but one thing didn't change, and that's the wide receiver room. Holdovers. It's the same awesome wide receiver room we had last year. The Packers are a franchise that gets criticized for not drafting wide receivers in the first round, but we have developed a top flight wide receiver room. Fellas, who is the wide receiver you're most excited about this season? Tyson, why don't you take it?
Well, thank you. I would love to
Well, let's talk a little bit about Christian Watson here, folks. Posted, a team high 12 touchdown receptions, 22 to 23, the fifth most by a Packer in the first two NFL seasons, behind only Bill Howard, Greg Jennings, Don Hudson, and of course, Sterling Sharp. Now, he was limited to only 9 games in 23 due to some hamstring fuckery, but, finished number 3 on the team with 5 receiving touchdowns. Now, once he figured out he had a melon in this side and a wee-wee in this side, we're going to get him back to normal. Now, let's talk about something serious, which is he finally fixed that god-awful hairdo, and I think that's really going to help him in the long run. Take it away, fellas.
I want to take a piece of this, and you made some really good points there. I got to say,
I really felt like I did.
you did really good, guys. That was a hell of a book report for Chazzy. So now for me, guys, it's all about consistency. I like a consistent, reliable wide receiver, and to me, that is Romeo Dobbs. He did his college ball in L.A. Packers drafted him in the 4th round in 2022. He is a focused, full effort concentration catch specialist, if you ask me. I think he is a quiet, confident, humble leader, just like our current quarterback, Mr. Jordan Love. They spent a lot of time together in the offseason, did a lot of different activities from when Jordan was not even the starter through everything that went well in his blowout performance against the Dallas Cowboys with 6 receptions, 151 yards, and 1 touchdown. He basically let the entire league put him on notice that this guy is a force. Not only that, Jair Alexander spent his entire camp going up against this guy because he feels like this is the most complete wide receiver we have on our team. That says all you need to know about Romeo Dobbs. And we got some great guys on the team. So I expect big things and hopefully a new contract soon for Romeo Dobbs.
I think it's pronounced Doobs.
It's not.
Mayhew, you got a wide receiver you're excited about?
I do. A lot of good cases being made. Tyson, Romeo, especially. But at the end of the day, for me, it's clear cut. Jaden Reed is going to be the most impactful wide receiver in this room in 2024. Now, the rookie exploded out of the gates last year. One of those guys that, like, I'll admit I wasn't paying a lot of attention to early on, but he ends up with 64 catches for 793 yards through the air, as well as just 11 carries for 119 yards. Every time this guy touches the ball in an end around, it's 10 plus yards and 3 more tutties. Point being, dynamic is what this guy is. I think he separates himself from the rest of the crew. And I'll be honest, I also took my son to his youth football camp at Monona High School in the offseason here. And look, I'm a little biased, but you should have seen how this guy interacts with the kids. This guy is a rookie. He goes out of his way to not just hit Madison. He was all over the U.S. just spreading the love and putting in the time. I'm like, dude, I am behind this motherfucker 100%. It's going to be a big year for Jaden Reed. Mark my words.
May, would you say he gave you some good FaceTime? I mean, you are one of the dads, the 2 dads in the chat. I'm assuming you asked him to be on the show. Or?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, I would have just assumed.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, gentlemen, we talked about this on the side. I got tasered twice trying to approach him by a security team. Why the fuck do you got to keep bringing it up? Yeah, I tried. 2 Dynasty for life.
Yeah. We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Anyway, that was the 3rd time I got crabs, which is embarrassing. But Ty, back to you.
Oh man, it's a great room, and I get to pick last, and I know everybody's just screaming Bo Melton, but I'm going to take Dontavian Wicks for the guy I'm excited about. This guy is the big play wide receiver on this team. You want to see 80-yard touchdowns, Dontavian Wicks is the guy that's going to deliver it for you. He's got over 10 yards a catch, and that's his average from last season. He just catches first downs. And yards per route run, he's well over 2. Just putting him out on the field makes us better team. I'm really high on Dontavian. I think he's going to be a big impact player this year and probably give us some of the most exciting wide receiver plays, highlight reel. I mean, he's doing it, and I'm excited every time he gets out on the field.
I was just going to say that PFF in the entire league last year had him as the number one separation man per route run. The guy just knows how to get open. Look, I'm a Jaden guy, but I'm saying you're not backing a bad horse, my friend.
It's and we're rich. We're rich in this department. It feels great to be here.
Even bring up our favorite blocking wide receiver, Malik Heath, in that. So that guy has earned his spot. We lost a couple of good ones here, guys, in the offseason. Interesting fact, there were a handful of teams that that actually got their players picked up. There was only, I think, about 9 players altogether that got picked up, and 4 of them were from the Packers. So 9 players of all the players that got scooped, and 4 of them came from our team. So that says a lot about the inner circle and the good work that they've done. It's pretty exciting.
We'll be right back after this.
Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
And we are back. Thank you to all those wonderful sponsors to the show. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to Two Dads and a Chaz. You can catch us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, whatever you want. We'll probably be there. Just Google us. We'll be there. Pornhub. We got some stuff up, mostly Thai. So yeah, you can check us out. Chaz's feet are not they're gross, but that's just a side comment. But anyway, yeah, we're going into the fourth quarter here. Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz. Thanks for enjoying what we're doing. We are about to go and talk about the game coming up here. Week 1, Green Bay Packers going to Sao Paulo, Brazil, to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't what. Tell me about this team. Am I worried about the Eagles? Are they good? Are they bad? What do we got?
What we know, sir, is that they are a formidable foe. Make no doubt about it, gentlemen. If we go back 2 years to when they were in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, losing a very close game, a little bit of a hangover, teetering to last year. But last year, that hangover had them starting off 10-1 and dominating the NFC in fine fashion. Now, tale of 2 seasons for this team, unfortunately, where the following 7 games, they went 1-6, still made it into the playoffs, only to lose into the first round to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay? Their hearts have been smashed. Their confidence crushed. But the talent that is on both sides of this ball is undeniable. Undeniable. And it's something that we need to take very, very seriously. So we want to talk about strengths and weaknesses. Let's talk about strengths. Offensively, Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Very strong individual. He's put up some decent numbers. And in front of him, he has a wide receiver core that I think is maybe top-notch in the entire NFL. Remember these names: A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson. You could arguably not come up with a better wide receiver core in the entire NFL, and that's what his disposal. But on top of that, Saquon Barkley comes from the New York Giants over to Philly. This guy is hungry to dominate and play for a fucking winner for the first time in his career behind an offensive line that is it's intimidating. This all adds up to the offensive side of the ball. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. Let's flip the script over to the other side. Defensively, one name I want you to know is Jalen Carter. Defensive, and he's a game wrecker. He's a game wrecker. Someone I loved in college. He came on strong year 1. This is his second year. He's about to break out. He is a man baby, killer in the weight room, and he will destroy games and take out your quarterback if you're not ready. On top of that, they revamped their secondary entirely, brought in Dejon Cooper, one of my favorites out of the draft this year, as well as Kenyon Mitchell, another cornerback. So the secondary got handled. Look, we all know the GM of this team, okay? What's his name? Howie Roseman, motherfucker kills it year after year. I'm not joking. I'm like, man, this guy just gets the deals done, and he puts talent on both sides of the ball. So Packer Nation, if we don't gear the fuck up and get ready for what is going to be a really tough opponent week 1, we could find ourselves at 0-1. Tyson, what are your thoughts here?
You make a lot of really good points, and you definitely make Philly sound pretty good. But we're forgetting about one really important part, and that is coaching. Coaching is kind of everything. It's where you motivate the men, and there is no coach that ended with a limper dick than the Philly coach last year. I mean, truly, nobody didn't belong. Nobody didn't belong at that sex party more than the Philadelphia Eagles. It was embarrassing. They had weird, like, birthmarks and stuff. They just kind of got shunned. They were not allowed there. So they are gone. And the Packers, on the other hand, we became studs. We became kind of front runners, and I think we looked like one of the best teams in all of postseason football. So yeah, the Eagles did a lot of things in the offseason to improve, but they needed to because they probably should have replaced their head coach, and they did not do that. So as a result, they needed something to get that team back behind that leadership, and maybe some fresh blood was part of it. But this is an old Philly trick. They always bring in a bunch of free agents. They always get a team that's considered the dream team. I've seen it countless times with Philly. And it just because you got a bunch of good players doesn't mean they work well together, And I feel like the Packers are like a real cohesive group, and Philly is a bunch of first round pick names that everybody was drooling about around draft time. How do they actually all play together? For that coach, we'll find out in Brazil. But that's a lot of rich guys going to the booty capital of the world. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd imagine someone's coming home with crabs. But yeah, I'm excited about the Eagles, though. I think we can take them. That's my moral of the story. Is I think we can take this team. I think we're a more mentally tough team. I think we're a more focused, driven team that's playing for the right reasons. And we got less players that are full of themselves than the Eagles have. They have a team full of teams that are full of guys that are full of themselves, and I think that's going to play a factor when you're playing in Brazil.
Ty, what's going on in your head, man? Where are we at here?
I'm just thinking of that you couldn't have two more different fan bases. Like the way Packer fans turn out and support for their team, a real wholesome kind of thing. And the Eagles, they will throw snowballs at their own players. It's just, and I really kind of, I don't know. I wonder what Brazil's like this week with that convergence of like just entirely different fan bases. I think the Packers got a chance out based on that alone. I think Packers fans, Wisconsin, we travel well. And I'd imagine anybody know crowd sizes yet? Maybe you keeping an eye on like airfare or what's going on here?
No, not so much. It's more the wildfires and the raping and the pillaging happening on the streets. But more importantly, 2D in the C Nation, this will be one of the first times that the entire podcast team will get together Friday at 7:15 to watch this game in the same room, boys, and I cannot be more pumped for that. Come on.
And it's not going to be a coincidence because this has not been done in maybe years that we've gotten the four of us together for a game. So this might be the year that we just don't lose any games because we've finally done the work that the football gods have requested, which I feel like brings us right into the next segment. I don't want to cut off our key player matchups. Is there any matchups you really need to get into, guys? Because I want to get right into the heebie-jeebie shit. Are you guys down?
You should have never said anything in the first place. Get it, buddy.
All right, guys, we are going into a little thing where I want to explain something. A lot of shows, they talk about it. The football guys, they dance around it, but they don't really understand it. I mean, do you understand it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we understand it. All right. And we're going to explain it to you. We're going to break it down to you right goddamn now.
Yeah.
You guys, the Green Bay Packers are a shining beacon of what is great in all of sport, not only because they're owned by the people, but also because the football gods see this as a mecca, as the home of historic greatness when it comes to combative sport of football. Okay. It is crazy to me to think that any other team considers their team to be more shined on than the glory of Green Bay. And when you go to this stadium, you feel it, you see it, the energy. Everyone's in a good mood, even as they're getting their ass kicked. They love it. They love every second of it. Okay. It's because the football gods love Green Bay. And I'm going to go as far as to tell you who the football gods are. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe, based off of no evidence and just a hunch,
Mhm.
that the football gods are made up of great players
Yep.
that were the foundation of this game
Preach.
and made it what it is. And they want the game to be honored by new great players. And even if they're great at the game, if they're pieces of shit as individuals, they're going to throw a lot of opportunities for them not to succeed in their way. They're going to have a lot of drops. They're going to have a lot of bad situations. Like, look at Rodgers' career from 2010 on. The football gods did not see him fit to finish a playoff run. Okay, it was him. Wow, it wasn't the Packers. It was him, and it wasn't because it wasn't even his football play. It's that he doesn't. It's not about the game. It's about the person. And when it becomes about that, the football gods will just let you be an entertaining piece in the puzzle.
Yeah, they'll let you play 3 plays and then take your Achilles right
That's
out.
right out of it. Yep, that's what happens. But I do want to break down, Chazzy, who do you feel like are the football gods?
Well, there's a couple that you got to name right off the bat. Obviously, there's Ray Nitschke. He's up there. He's looking down. He's still ugly. Vince Lombardi, obviously, he's everywhere. I literally thought that I met him in my first game. We won't talk about it. Reggie White is definitely up there.
Yeah.
And obviously, may he rest Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean?
He is very much alive.
It's good to me.
Okay, well, he's alive and well and in New York and not the vice president. So we are glad that we don't have to cover him, but for fun. We can just make fun of the guy from afar now and watch their team twist in the goddamn wind. It's beautiful. It's like a crazy ex-girlfriend getting a reality TV show, You just get to sit there and watch. You're like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chazzy was like, and with that, I want to talk about people who cheat. So but no, really, guys, I want to let you know the Packers are a mecca for the football gods, and I'm going to ask to call on you to do something good for the football gods. When we get
ritual is.
No, we should have a ritual, but here's the difference between the Packers fan base and a lot of other fan bases. I'm going to go right into my ending monologue here, guys, because this kind of spins right into it. A lot of fan bases, they're about a bunch of middle-aged guys getting ham-boned and going to these things, or they try to make it good for a kid-friendly thing for a team that doesn't win. The Packers, we do it in both directions, okay? We take care of the ham bones for sure. They're getting loaded. They're having a great fucking time, okay? But we also do it for the kids. It is a kid-friendly event. As you know, you bring your kids. It's a magical moment. But also for the elderly, guys. Also for the old. This is their party, too. It's an old person's paradise there at Lambeau. I don't care if it's 10 below or 98 degrees. They're there, and they're having a good time. Maybe one of the best damn good days left is right there at Lambeau Field. And we respect that. Ty?
Yeah, it's the people's team. And the Packers are for everyone. I just wanted to solidify that back to you.
I agree. So, guys, there's a lot of teams that in years past I've asked you to cheese up on D. I've asked you to do a lot of things. This year, I'm going to go a little different route. To feel good, this year, I think we're going to do good. That's the way to do it. To feel good, you got to do good. So, guys, I'm going to ask call of action this year, this day, between now and the game, as you're going to the grocery stores, as you're gathering your things. Do something kind for someone older than you. And I don't mean like 5-10 years older than you. I'm talking like someone much older than you. Hold the door. Call your parents, for God's sakes, you piece of shit. Jesus, what's wrong with you? Call your mother. But seriously, take care of someone that's older than you.
She's awful to me.
I also, I was at Target the other day. My son had a birthday, and he got the gift. He's at the age where he's getting gift cards, so now he gets to go and buy the things at the Target. There was an older lady that I thought was having a hard time working the register or the self-checkout, and I was kind of annoyed at the moment. And then I realized what had happened is she could not afford her groceries, guys. and it was not a lot of money, and it broke my heart. I was with my son, and I thought this was a great opportunity to be a way better dad than Mayhew and pay for this lady's groceries, which is exactly what I did, and it felt good. And I felt terrible for her situation, but more importantly, it felt good to do good for somebody. And I feel like that really springboarded me into a really great week. And I'd like to repeat that. I'd like to ask you to do the same. So guys, do something kind for someone who needs it, especially if they're older than you. It's a crime the way we treat the elderly in this country, and we're all going to be there someday. So love someone who's older. That's my request to you, my call to action this week.
Unless they're Bears fans.
And they deserve the diabetes they walked into. Okay, I didn't make that.
You
bad.
say diabetes the correct way.
Diabetes. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll see what else we got left in the glass to wrap this up before we go to Sao Paulo. Sound good?
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Do we have tickets? Are we going?
Yeah. We talking Green Bay Packers football.
And we're back. Gentlemen, at this point in the day, I'm going to move my microphone and ask if you got anything left in your glass. Who's got something left? Who's got a little? May, you go ahead.
Just want to put it out there for those who were not aware that the Packers Hall of Fame introduced 2 new members, both of which are very near and dear to my heart, Aaron Campman and Clay Matthews. My God, huge contributors to this franchise. Aaron Campman, DN for the longest of times, came out of Iowa, erupted on the scene. I don't even know where we drafted this guy, but like my youth was depicted by this man putting up like 10, 12 sack seasons, just doing like the dirty work on the outside. Now, unfortunately, as soon as we switched to a 3-4 under Dom Capers, that was the man left on the sidelines, in which place Clay Matthews literally stole his job. But I mean, the passing of the torch is important. It's important. Okay.
Let's
Both
celebrate
gentlemen-
him as well for taking that job. Yeah.
But
Hey,
for
Aaron
me,
Campman went to the Chargers and did absolutely nothing for 2 years and got paid to do it. So it was good.
yep. For me, just 2 incredible individuals that deserve recognition for this franchise. And I was just very pleased to see that they retired Packers. That's all.
My memory of Aaron Campman is the absolute technician going up against the Detroit Lions and having their right tackle get like his chest get completely punched on either side as he just worked back and tackled their quarterback. He was an incredible 4-3 outside linebacker, or lineman, I should say, defensive end, left end. But yeah, it was a shame that it didn't work out in the new scheme, because I really loved Aaron Campman. And that after that ACL injury, that was kind of it for him. But we had good times together. And Clay Mayu, great memories with Clay. Am I right?
Dude, on that note, I brought this one up, I think, in year 1, but I was at the game, the first Brett Favre, Vikings, Packers game, whatever, in fucking Minnesota. Go and look it up. There is a play where Clay Matthews runs into Adrian Peterson, literally rips the ball out of his hands and runs it back the other way for the touchdown and pitches in the crowd. I was there. Nobody understood like what was going on because it happened like so quickly. That was this man's impact out of the gate before he stole Aaron Campman's job. And from then on out, we all know history. Man, the guy was dominant. He was doing steroids. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, basketballs for biceps, dude. That guy was blown out.
Yes. No, so many good.
And he's like
memories.
eating Campbell's soup at the same time somehow for like a promo. It's like, oh.
Junkies, baby.
Good bit. That was a good one.
Well, guys, at this point, we are going to go ahead and talk to you guys about next week. We are going to be back after the Brazil game, of course, to break that down. Also kind of see where the standout players, who were some of the draft picks that have really worked out for us, and some that are leaving us with a question mark if they were the smart move. We got a lot to break down, and we're going to do it every week for you guys right here on Two Dads and a Chaz. At this point, I'm going to let Chazzy break it down for the football gods. Gets our hashtag chest fight.
Ladies and gentlemen of the GED class of 1999, there is no sex in the champagne room. Go, Pack, go. Don't let it snow too hard. Give it all you got. And hashtag we're going to reclaim the North. Hashtag reclaim the North.
Like that. On the count of 3, hashtag reclaim the North, guys. We'll see y'all next week. Hashtag reclaim the North.
Reclaim the North.
2 dads in the sand. Just take it easy.
Two dads in a chance, putting trophies on the wall. Two dads in a chance, is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads in a chance, talking Green Bay Packers football.
We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Most of gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air condition, cause it's bound to get hot.
Two dads in a chance, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads in a chance, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall.
Marty trophies, y'all.
Two dads in a chance is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.